Eagle residents could soon be paying 300% more for their water service. It all depends on what happens in a complicated legal case regarding the sale of Eagle Water Company. 6 on your side's McKenna King is live at the Ada County Courthouse with an update in our continuing coverage.
Don, Suez Water Company says they want to purchase Eagle Water Company from third-party H2O Eagle Acquisition. But the city says they should get first dibs, and now it's all ended up in a courtroom right here at the Ada County Courthouse. Back in 2008, Eagle Water Company entered an intertie agreement with the City of Eagle. The City of Eagle says that was after the DEQ found violations of Eagle Water Company's public drinking water. In a statement on its website, officials with the City of Eagle say that in order to fix the problems, Eagle Water Company had to interconnect with another public water system, which in this case was the City of Eagle's. As a result, Eagle Water Company agreed to pay the city a monthly fee for the interconnection and also agreed to give the city a right of first refusal if Eagle Water Company were to ever sell its assets.
I made the motion as a city council member that we need to have a right of first refusal to purchase Eagle Water. It adjoins the city system.
Here we are 11 years later, and Eagle Water Company does want to sell its assets, and Suez Water Company filed an application to purchase them. But the city says they weren't offered that first right of refusal, so they filed a lawsuit.
If the court says the City of Eagle has the first right of refusal, then they'll have an opportunity to try to buy it.
But that decision is still up in the air. Eagle Water Company and Suez, an intervener in the court case, argue that first right of refusal agreement is too vague.
It doesn't have any property descriptions. It doesn't refer to anything that would give you an exact idea of what the water system is.
Eagle citizens are speaking up about the case as well.
The Eagle Water customer group was very concerned when they saw the filings by Suez proposing to increase the rates on customers of Eagle Water by 300%.
A shocking percentage, but Suez says when you take a look at how little customers are paying currently, the increase would bring Eagle Water customers up with the rest of the Treasure Valley.
Their rates would be go up from about, I think it's $8 a month to about $24 a month.
Which Suez says will go toward improvements on the water system.
There haven't been any improvements in many years. The rates have stayed the same. Whoever acquires a system is going to have to make improvements on the system.
At this point, the City of Eagle has not released what the rates would be if they are offered the first right of refusal and they purchase Eagle Water Company. Judge Stephen Hippler says a decision will be made in due time, but both sides are hopeful that that decision will be made in the next 30 days. Live at the Ada County Courthouse, McKenna King, 6 on your side.
More of the day's news coming up in just a moment. We have hot temperatures here, but you're also keeping an eye on a storm called Dorian.
Yeah,
well, it's more than a storm now.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's a hurricane now, and it is tracking across the open water now and will head towards the Florida coastline, very likely. I've got the latest on that coming up in just a little bit because it's going to impact people that are heading in that direction. It will impact them some way. Hopefully, all will go well. And hopefully the storm system doesn't even strengthen as much as its forecasts do. Unfortunately, we could end up with a major hurricane off the coast of Florida getting ready to impact somewhere along the Florida coastline. We'll look at that coming up in a bit. First of all, let's take a look at our high temperature today. It was hot this afternoon. Did you notice how cool it was this morning at 59, then how quickly up to 97, just 5 degrees shy of that record. 102 set back in 2009. Temperatures across the entire region were in the 80s and 90s. I should say mostly 90s. But look at Baker City, 100. Rome, Oregon, 100. 88 in McCall, 92 in Twin Falls. So it's been hot in most all locations. Beautiful view of the fountain show going on at the Village at Meridian right now. It's just a delightful 80 degrees. Real comfortable weather out there. A little cloud cover starting to come in, and that cloud cover will be with us for the start of the day tomorrow. There's some lightning. Unfortunately, we're going to likely to get new fire starts here in Oregon, and some of these storms could reform over central Idaho during the day tomorrow. But for the Treasure Valley, some cloud cover overnight tonight, so a mild start. Look at 7 o'clock in the morning, 67 degrees. So a much warmer start to the day, but then it kind of stays level, and then the sun comes out and it shoots back up in the 90s with a little bit of a breeze. Okay, more on the forecast for the weekend for the Northwest and for Florida. If you're headed in that direction, you won't want to miss my forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Scott. Idaho does not have required statewide protocols when it comes to lockdowns or evacuations. But first responders working with school districts are creating their own to try and standardize them. 6 on your side's Jessica Taylor reports.
The protocols include evacuation, reverse evacuation, hall check, and lockdown. Some of these, like evacuation and lockdown, are drills that have been in place for years. But what is new is how all the drills are taught and practiced inside the schools, which is making them more effective in times of an emergency.
We're all passionate about school safety, but are we practicing the best practices for our schools?
Officers in school districts from across the state sat down to discuss what would help in times of an emergency. Months of conversations led to the Idaho Standard Command responses for schools.
The evacuation, reverse evacuation, hall check, and lockdown.
Not all the drills are new, but the terminology and practicing are.
With the reverse evacuation and a hall check, these can be also trained regularly.
Hall checks are how the school safely secures kids when there's not an active threat but reason to be uncomfortable, like an aggressive parent inside the building. Regular trainings for hall checks and reverse evacuations prepare students to act quicker in case of the real thing.
Reverse evacuation is a procedure which is going to be somewhat new to a lot of people, but a lot of people call it end of recess because it's getting kids back in.
West Ada, Nampa, Caldwell, and